Hey guys, Adam Retro Moments here and welcome to Norrtälje in Sweden. We're going to visit SPEL SÅNT, probably the best store that we have in Sweden. And this was actually a very special day for the store since they celebrated 5 years at this location, as well as getting the remaining games from BERGSALA, the distributor of Nintendo in Scandinavia. So they actually bought a large portion of the games that have been laying there for many years. And here you can see me looking at everything with Robin from BERGSALA, a retro gaming podcast. So we're standing here discussing all the objects, some very neat items, and especially since they come from the Nintendo distributor, it's a very cool thing, you know, since they have been barely played, just tested, or even some of the items were brand new. And taking a closer look, we can see a lot of DS games and soundtracks to Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, as well as Donkey Kong 64 and Majora's Mask there, of course, and yeah, some Nintendo NES minis, brand new controllers, accessories, and a few boxed Wiis actually, some of them even brand new. And this Super Mario Galaxy, new and sealed, $120 was the price for it. And here are some mixed Wii and Wii U games, some of them new and some of them just tested. Going forward here, they had some very unique items not for sale, like this Philips Discovery TV, as well as this official N64 box, you know, that you can place your games in. Really cool, neat little thing, and also one for SNES. And these DS cards here are from a download kiosk thing. And behind there we got the Club Nintendo N64, really cool to see. But probably the coolest thing was this one, the test unit for Super Nintendo right here. And this is actually the American version, and this was used to try out cables, controllers and games without hooking it up to a TV. Really cool. And here's a signed game of Super Mario 64 from Charles Martinet that became famous for the voice acting in Super Mario 64, which was his first game. And here we have a first prototype for the Super Nintendo controller. They actually used red buttons. I had no idea about that, so very cool to see actually. And here as last are some promos and different kinds of games that were used in commercial ways. So we got some DS games and Wii games, and actually a few Japanese games here. That's always fun to see, you know. The store finally opened, and we had a full house, to say at least. And let's take a little overview of the store, how it looks like with all the people here. We got Dave from Gaming Grunner standing with Borka here that works in this store. And Luigi and Mario were here, of course, to say hi to all the people that were shopping games and trying out some new VR games. But the most interesting place in the store was, of course, all the new items. A lot of people were lining up here to buy things. And here we can see another YouTuber, Game Mistress, buying a Nintendo GameCube. She's been doing a lot of retro gaming videos on her channel, and she's doing it in English as well, so if you want to see some more of that, check her out. Going further to the retro gaming section here, we have some more historical items, Zelda fan translations and ROM hacks, as well as that analog up there, and Zelda Gold Pack that was only released in Scandinavia, that features the guidebook with the game. And here is the big retro section over on the other side of the store. And taking a little overview here, we can find a lot of SNES and Dreamcast and Saturn and PS1. So let's take a look at the top shelf here. We have an interesting Tekken promo copy there from Greece, as well as World Heroes for the Genesis, and also Super Contra there, and Battle Mania, amazing shooter game. Japanese only, I believe. I also noticed this PCFX game here, which I believe is Kabuki Clash, if I'm not mistaken. And of course they did have a few Neo Geo AES games. You can see Blazing Star there, but that's a conversion of course. They got Puzzled, and they got Bubble Bobble, and a loose copy of Fatal Fury 2. And yeah, nothing that I really felt like I wanted. But always nice to see some Neo Geo AES games, of course. And here's something I don't see very often. It's the Donkey Konga, the Bongo Bundle, with the bongo and the games. Getting kind of pricey nowadays. And beside it, we also have a PCFX in the box. Isn't that amazing? Asking price was $300 US, which to me sounds like a pretty good deal actually. But yes, going further here, some N64 carts, and of course some boxed N64 games, even some American ones mixed in there, some Game Boy games, and we also have a few heavy hitters up here. Chibi-Robo, that's a really interesting game for the GameCube. Next we have a boxed Mega Man 3, and up here I actually noticed one more PCFX game right there, as well as Secret of Mana, CIB of course, and some rental games for NES, and some GameCube games, even American and Japanese ones in here, which is always really nice to see, you know. I mean, I definitely feel like the American version of GameCube games look a little bit better, especially on the spine. And in the last section here, we actually have a brand new PS1 going for $2,500 US. That's absolutely crazy. But I guess that's the price. I don't know. Undercover Cops, great beat 'em up game released for the SNES, and this was a reprint of course. Some Evercade games here, and a reprint of Battletoads and Double Dragon for the NES. Looks really cool with that box. And yeah, here's an overview of that last showcase here. And not to forget, we had some Mega Drive games here, Japanese ones, and American Genesis games could also be seen here. Really nice to see that. Going further here, I had to take a look at the Super Nintendo games, of course. Some American ones as well here. I have to say that most of the games have definitely the right price on them. So that's nice to see. And some Sega CD here, American ones of course, and lots of Japanese Saturn games actually, as well as a few PAL Dreamcast games. Dreamcast games definitely getting harder to find nowadays, I've noticed, so you better keep your Dreamcast games if you still enjoy them, of course. And the loose carts for Super Famicom and SNES. Mostly common ones, but really nice to see Earthbound there, or Mother 2 as it's called in Japan, for $30. And they also sell some merch and accessories, clothes with video games related to them. Here we can see some hats, really cool ones here, Tomb Raider, and their own cap, Extra Live, and Deadpool even, but this one I really liked, the Street Fighter cap, really cool. And also Mortal Kombat, and the Tekken one was really nice, and Doom of course. And look at this perfectly grey DMG Game Boy hat. Another cool part about this store is that they have a lot of official Nintendo signs and displays that were used back in the days, just as this World of Nintendo globe right there, which is very expensive nowadays. I believe one recently got sold for about 10,000 US dollars. And here we also have this SEGA sign up there, which is really cool since it's in Swedish. And here's another World of Nintendo sign and also a Super Mario World sign from Super Nintendo. And as you've noticed, this store is full of surprises, and here is their arcade, which is called Extra Life or Extra Liv in Swedish. And yeah, they have a full out arcade in the store, just so you can have some more fun while you're here shopping for games. So I definitely spent some time in here. We got some Street Fighter and also Darius Burst here, which is a classic. And on the top here we have lots of different flipper games. And yeah, I was also spending some time here actually. It was a long time ago since I used flipper machines, but they're definitely fun and very cool looking. And when it comes to light guns, you gotta have Point Blank, of course. This is a classic. I used to play this a lot back in the days. Love this one. And yeah, some air hockey and basketball, of course. Another section of the store are the books that are all video game related, of course. Here we got SNES books as well as Virtual Boy and PC Engine books. And I just had to take a look at the Virtual Boy book here. Very interesting to see the history of Virtual Boy, since I recently actually got myself a Virtual Boy. So I'll definitely be diving into the games library, etc. And I also found this cool book from SNK, King of Fighters, the ultimate history of the series, which is also definitely a book that I would like to read in the future. The King of Fighters series is of course legendary, especially popular in Asia actually, and Brazil and South America, I believe. And here's the PC Engine book. And you could also find tons of board games in the store, as you can see right here. A section completely dedicated to that. And they had this huge NES controller, which you could play some Super Mario Bros. On. Here we got Peter showcasing the game. He just died, so that's why he had to laugh about it. But then he kept going, and he did much better, of course. And here we also have the counter, which is a big pipe, also very creative, you know. And the last section here is dedicated to controllers, new controllers for retro games, and of course the new mini consoles, just like this Astro City Arcade Mini. If you liked the video, let me know by giving it a thumbs up, and let me know, what do you think about this store? What was the coolest part about it? Thanks for watching, guys. See you the next time.